We may not change history, but by God, we will change geography. And right now, the US military just changed geography. Alright class, settle down and let me tell you a story. First of all, I would like to apologize. The schedule is kicking my ass right now, but rest assured, I am doing everything in my power to actually get everything back on track. I mean, the dream has always been to be perpetually online so I can spend more time with you guys. I mean, this is the dream. This is the direction that I actually wanted to go with. It's just that I have bills to pay, you guys. Number two, the reason that I wanted to go with this video is that if I'm keeping track of everything right, missiles are now flying between Iran, Israel, and the US. But here's the thing, right? A ceasefire has been declared, but check it out. It's been violated in less than 24 hours. So, yeah. The reality of World War III coming in is, well, becomes more likely every minute, every day. And of course, number three, we actually did a video before where the US Navy destroyed the Iranian Navy in less than 8 hours. So, we now have something happening at the present, or at least, 24 hours afterwards. Let's see what they've got. This time,
we just got brand new details about Operation Midnight Hammer from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Ooh,
as we see at the magic wall to
Operation Midnight Hammer. All right. It sounds like something else, but okay. I mean, it's the military, not exactly known for their creativity in terms of naming stuff. I remember there was this tank once they called ASVAB Waiver. Quite funny.
break this all down and for about what we know is retired Colonel Cedric Leighton. Colonel, thank you so much for being here. Take us through this mission because it had been in the planning for quite some time.
It really has, Manu, and this is the graphic that the DoD provided us with this. So they started, they've been planning this for, in some ways, for over a year, and in other ways, they've been doing exercises that kind of did the same thing for up to 2 or more years.
Oh, wow.
But
wait, they've been exercising or they've been planning for this for more than 2 years? I mean, based on this map, these are stealth bombers. I remember seeing AI images of Iran supposedly shooting down stealth bombers, and it managed to land intact for some reason. But then again, it's only boomers who shared it around. But 2 years, they had a plan. They had an existing plan for this, like, for 2 years already. So imagine the intel on this whole thing. If you guys remembered, what was the name? Suicide Squad Enchantress, right? They used her to basically get the nuclear launch codes from Iran or something, or nuclear plans from Iran in less than 5 minutes, if you guys remember that scene. But you know what? Let's keep moving.
the key thing is this: the actual operational planning really started a few weeks ago once the direction came from the president to do this kind of thing. So when they left Whiteman Air Force Base, they did it basically right after midnight on the 21st of June. And then they came through and struck the targets in Iran about 18 hours later,
so
18 hours and 19 hours later. And they hit the 3 sites that we've been talking about before.
So all these stealth bombers went halfway across the world to the Middle East. I'm assuming there's a refuel there, which enabled them to basically bomb the stuffing out of it at midnight or something.
These are the ones that, of course, have become famous
Let's
now.
see the before and after
Natanz
pics.
and Isfahan.
Yeah, everybody
and
knows
these
that.
are the ones that, of course, not only because they've been in the news, but because of what they had, became important from an operational perspective to actually eliminate. And that's why they had the kind of payload that they did on the B-2.
And there's been a lot of discussion about the Fordo facility in particular. And the Pentagon says they've obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities. But Fordo in particular, how hard is that to penetrate?
So take a look at this right here, Manu. When you see
This is just speculation, right? CNN speculation of how the operation went down based on the experts' knowledge. I mean, it's not like the U.S. military handed out this info packet right after they bombed the shit out of Iran or something. I mean, it takes quite some time before they declassify any of this info.
So
the
this is
security
it.
perimeter right
Oh,
here,
shit.
and then in just a second we'll get some more details here because
wow.
you've got the support building and tunnel entrances. This is
Yeah.
way deep underground, almost 300 feet underground. So when you look at the layout of this,
I thought each bunker buster went 200 feet and they dropped 12.
Whoa.
you've got those tunnel entrances that I talked about, that support building, and this mountain covers the centrifuges. The
Yeah.
centrifuges are the key part to them doing what they need to do to, in essence, enhance the uranium to get it to
14,
the level that
12
they
on
need.
this one.
So when you look at what this looked like before June 20th,
Right.
this is what
nice
the
place.
fuel
We're looking at the
enrichment
before
facility
part.
looked like from a satellite view. Now take a look
Not
at
so
what
nice.
happened here. Every single thing that you see here has been actually changed a bit. When
it's
you look at
turquoise now.
this, the June 20th slide, take a look at the facilities up here and over here. Now look, this is gone.
Wow.
Whoa.
This right here is also gone. So these are the kinds of things,
Oh my
the
god!
facilities up here and
Wait,
over
I didn't even realize that. Look!
here. Now look,
It's just not there
Impact
anymore.
crater.
this is gone.
What was that saying made by that British officer? That they were going when they were going to drop so much ordnance. We may not change history, but by God, we will change geography. And right now, the U.S. military just changed geography. You have to know how terrifying that is, and why do so many people believe like that Hutu girl, like the Hutus, they don't mess around, or that girl who thinks like the cartel can take on the U.S. military, who literally changed geography in less than 24 hours. Mind you, with the name Midnight Hammer.
Wow.
Like literally fucking erased.
They will change
This
geography
right here
upon
is
you.
also gone.
Gone. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. Gone. It's all gone. It is funny.
Holy shit!
So these are the kinds of things that happen. And another thing that's really interesting
More space for Burger King and McDonald's now.
about this, take a look. This is that support building that we showed
Yeah.
earlier. Everything looks intact. These are the tunnel entrances.
Okay.
Now let's take a look. When you go over here, you see that these tunnel entrances have been damaged beyond repair. There's what appears to be smoke damage right here at the
Well,
support.
here's what's so crazy about it.
Wait.
It's the fact that the explosions very clearly penetrated right here. There's no penetration holes anywhere in this area at all. So that means the explosion that happened here ended up collapsing the entire tunnel all the way over here.
You know what's terrifying? People are still trapped inside this whole thing, this whole structure. There are people still alive inside these tunnels, inside these networks. The Rains of Castamere. Oh my god, the US literally Rain of Castamere'd these people. Oh, poor people. I promise you there are survivors trapped right now inside these facilities. Yep, Rain of Castamere.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I mean, they collapse the tunnel system. They
That's a lot
collapse
of
the
power.
exit.
Yeah.
building. And then when you look
Jesus Christ, what a terrifying way to die.
here, see these things right in this area right
Those are the-
here.
those are
These
the-
are
yeah.
penetration holes right where the bombs hit. And when you
Earthquake
look
machine?
at,
Yeah.
there's actually a further one when you go this way, right up in
Yeah.
this area, right here, which shows that there are very key, precise
So
impacts.
if they shot it here, and you had collapses all the way over,
Explosion was that big. Entry was here, but the entire effect reached all the way here. So that's what he's trying to say right now.
here. And this is a satellite.
I wonder what's the scale on this entire map. I wonder, how many meters? It's amazing and terrifying at the same time.
Light footage, right? I mean, this isn't like a guess. This isn't a conversation. It's not a extrapolation. You see it right here. It's cooked.
It's done for.
Why is there 3 holes? So they dropped 12 bunker buster bombs. Each
1, 2, 3,
B-2
4,
bomber
5,
had 2 of
6.
them. So they probably dropped both of them at the same time, or maybe one, and then, you know, like they have like these, I'm assuming probably like, you know, laser fucking focus guidance systems. So one of them gets probably almost all the way in, and then the second one goes all the way in. 14 bombs? No, but no, I understand there's the 14 bombs. 12 of them were used on this site. 2 of them were used on another site.
I was honestly expecting this structure right here to disappear, but I guess the target, I mean, it would have been too easy, right? It would have been too obvious. Like if you were the designer of this whole infrastructure, a building like this would literally be saying, or would literally be a target that says, you know, hit me right here. But I guess for some reason the US military knew how to hit it, or which part to hit precisely in order to collapse the entire structure. Jesus Christ. Some of these people were buried alive, and some of them are still alive. I bet you people are still alive inside this tunnel right now, or inside this bunker right now, just trying to dig themselves out. I mean, hopefully it was quick, but you know what? I doubt it that there are people inside this bunker trying to dig themselves out right now, and well, there's no hope.
That they struck. The idea here was to get at the
Because it's 2 bombs
centrifuges
from each
and to
one.
use it with multiple bombs so that they could go down deep enough to eliminate the possibility of them even enriching the uranium.
And we'll see if they've done that. The Pentagon says this thorough evaluation is still ongoing. And meantime, there's this concern, real concern about retaliation from the Iranians against U.S.
Retaliate with what? They managed to destroy their entire navy in less than 8 hours before. With what exactly?
assets in the region. There are a lot of them.
I'm surprised that Trump, as the content president, didn't have a camera there to record it.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding. Like, the fact that, like, they didn't have a drone over there to watch this shit happen, I'm kind of mad about.
You know what? They probably do. But it's yet to be declassified.
Like, he did? Well, I want to see it.
We all do, but no,
Maybe
they're
it'll
not gonna
come
just,
out. Yeah,
they're not just gonna
they've
release
got to
it
show. I mean, because that
ASAP.
would be badass to watch, right? I mean, again, like, these are, like, this is literally everybody's tax dollars.
Yes,
We
it
have
is.
spent billions of dollars on this shit.
You know what? He's got a point. If you're going to deprive the American populace of healthcare and stuff like that, might as well show them that this is why you don't have healthcare. We build stuff like this that obliterate underground structures in less than like 24 hours or something.
Don't we at least get to watch a video?
Yeah, he's got a point.
It's bullshit.
But I promise you, they probably do.
Record it somewhere.
Simply not declassified right
The
now.
montage, yeah, tweet it out, do something. It's
I
classic.
mean, I forgot the name of that comedian that, you know what, Trump was like the worst secret keeper or intelligence keeper ever, because in less than 5 minutes after he was told something, he'd like go out and have a press conference. So, like, remember when they killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi? And the way he described it, what was the name of that comedian? Can someone please put it down? I think it was Shane Smith. He had an entire special about this whole thing, and it was really funny. Was it Shane Smith? I'm not so sure, but I think it was Shane McGillis. But can someone please put it down in the comments? It was really funny.
Classified? Yeah.
Thousands of troops as well.
Yeah, basically 40,000 troops throughout the Middle East,
yeah.
Manu, and especially concentrated in the Persian Gulf region. And what's
Yeah.
across the Persian Gulf? Iran itself. So that means that it's within missile ranges of not only the long-range missiles, obviously, but short-range missiles as well, that the Iranians could easily lob into the areas such as the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Iraq. So those are the kinds of things that our forces have to worry about from a force protection standpoint. But each one of these areas really makes it very clear that every single one of our troops is definitely within range, but that doesn't mean that they can't defend themselves. They will be able to defend themselves if the
But will they retaliate?
proper measures are taken. And
Well,
if we
I mean, there's also.
I mean, properly, not just for show. I read somewhere in the report somewhere that most retaliatory measures are simply for show or in order to save face for the present government. So it's not really meant to actually do damage, but more likely as a press conference fodder to let everyone know that the government's still on control. I mean, their entire uranium infrastructure or nuclear infrastructure just went down underground. Literally went out under the sand. So right now they're trying to save face, and the best way to do that would be to retaliate without actually doing any damage. Because they know for a fact that if a single American serviceman dies from their retaliation, the government's next. Their equivalent of the White House or their government center is next.
Like the other component to this is that I don't think that Iraq and Saudi Arabia and Qatar necessarily want Iran bombing the U.S. embassy there or the U.S. military base there. Because, I mean, from their perspective, these are Iranian missiles and bombs going into their country. So I haven't had anybody bring this up. I don't think anybody's brought this up at all. But like, there's a massive diplomatic problem there when Iran just starts indiscriminately shooting missiles into these other countries and being like, oh, well, we're just trying to hit the American base. I don't think that these other countries are just going to be like, oh, okay.
They're gonna try to save face, definitely, but they won't do any actual real damage. Because again, if a single serviceman dies, their government center's next.
Okay, understandable. We get that. Yeah, nobody said that. Iran said it has sleeper cells in the U.S. and the Homeland Security issued a statement of warning of heightened threat environment. More justification for why it was the right choice.
Point.
Wow. So they have all these terrorist sleeper cells. Huh.
You know what? If you find yourself in a terrorist sleeper cell, might as well just turn yourself in, do it for the reward money. Do it for immunity. Rat everyone out. Because guess what? They destroyed your country's nuclear capability in less than 24 hours. What would be the point? It's not like you're gonna get to go home and be welcomed as a hero. They're not gonna do any parades for you if your government center's gone. So might as well just turn yourself in. Reap that immunity, reap that reward money. New American citizenship.
Sure seems like we made the right call there then.
Have the right intelligence when it comes to Iranian intentions.
Yeah, that's everything that U.S. is watching for right now, that next step that the Iranians may take. Colonel Leighton, thank you so much for breaking this all down for us.
That was Colonel Leighton.
Back to you.
All right, Manu, I'm joined now by CNN national security analyst Beth Center. Beth, thanks so much for joining us. What kind of intelligence gathering is happening right now to ensure that the Pentagon's original assessment that had been made public, that these Iranian assets...
I'm really surprised that we haven't had any good videos of this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like any time that any of these other bombings have happened, like there's just been like so many videos. And like with this, it's like there's nothing.
were obliterated.
It's like, how many years before they released the Bin Laden video? The SEAL Team 6 going into the Bin Laden compound video. Can someone please put it down in the comments? And next, how many years afterwards before they released his porn collection? Or his meme collection?
Is actually accurate.
Mm-hmm.
from his PC.
Right. So there are going to be multiple different kinds of sensors and overhead imagery.
This could be the 2026 Air Force recruitment video.
Yep.
The funny
Why
thing
not?
is that you might actually be right. They might be saving it for a recruitment video
Probably.
to release it as like a big trailer or something like that.
As well as trying
I mean, they did release that new trailer video about the new recruitment video, armed forces recruitment video, and you know what? It was awesome. I mean, it was definitely badass. They definitely moved away from that two mom stuff. It's like going back to traditions.
to maybe listen in on what people are saying. The Israelis have a human network of spies. So all of these things will come
Mossad.
together in the intelligence community. We call it all source intelligence. We're taking things in from everywhere we can to put together a picture of what happened inside that hall. But in addition to that, everybody, at least all of us on the outside, are asking the question, where is all of Iran's highly enriched uranium and their centrifuges? Can we say
Aren't they underground right now? In about like a couple of million tons of sand.
that with these three sites hit, that there aren't other that HEU, enriched uranium, and the centrifuges haven't been secreted away to covert facilities?
I mean, there was a Jack Ryan film about this. The Sum of All Fears. What was the name of Ben Affleck? What was the name of that guy who played God with a good voice? Ben Affleck, that guy. The tagline was like there were 27,000 like nuclear warheads, and then one of them is missing. Ergo, the title, The Sum of All Fears.
That I would say we would be crazy to think they didn't have, to use a double.
I mean, it's an actual
So let me
possibility.
get this straight. They're going to put the uranium in the secret facilities that we don't know about, but they couldn't even figure out how to make a secret facility for themselves to avoid getting killed?
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing, we were pointing at it earlier. It's like, it feels like it was put there on purpose, like a giant hit me sign, like a giant bullseye. But you know what? The penetration holes right over here. I think it was landed over here. I think these were the penetration holes or something. Yeah, but the U.S. definitely knew to hit on this side instead of this huge sign that says "hit me right here." Yeah, interesting.
Negative.
The U.S., as you know, Beth, is now in a heightened state of alert in the region for possible retaliation. How is the U.S. intelligence community now monitoring any potential Iranian-related threats?
Yeah.
Well, a couple of different ways. Again, looking at all the groups that are very well known, that have been tracked over many years because they have attacked U.S. troops throughout the region for, a long time. And we are also, I'm sure, working with our liaison partners in these countries. For example, the Iraqis have been fantastic partners. They don't like to talk about it, of course, and we don't either. But, obviously you need to work with the governments to help ensure that...
Wait, Iraq are our boys now?
I mean, they don't like to talk about it. The Americans don't like to talk about it. But you know what? There might be what you'd call a back channel relationship there between Iraqi and American leadership. Never know. That's why it's called the intelligence community.
Wait, what?
Back channels.
Bro, shit's changing over there, huh? Damn.
Remember, children, no permanent friends and enemies, only permanent interests.
Great.
And the Americans pay well.
Oh, yeah, us. All right.
They're good friends
Easy.
to have.
Troops are not attacked, and we will be holding some of these
Yeah.
countries accountable as well for doing what they can to keep the lid on these militia groups in their countries. So we will be working with our
Like Yemen.
partners and then also independently to be tracking all of this.
Still a very,
Heightened
very
alert.
dangerous situation indeed.
It
All right, Beth
is.
Center, thanks so much for joining.
But what exactly are they going to do? How exactly are they going to retaliate? I'm assuming we're gonna go back to how they did to Israel. They're not going to hit military targets. They're going to hit civilians. And that's why they won't win.
Joining us. Federal officials are warning about the potential retaliation from Iran in the wake of the U.S. attack on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. This morning, Iran's foreign minister warned that they have to respond, and the U.S., quote, crossed a very big...
See, they have to respond. But no, they're not they're gonna make sure to make a show of it, but no. They're gonna have to make sure that not a single serviceman dies from their response.
Red line, end quote.
Yeah, Iraq is our OG boy. We were selling Saddam all kinds of weapons back in the day. Yeah, I know, like, he was our boy for a while. And a lot of people said that, like, Saddam was surprised that we even attacked him. He was like, what the fuck, guys? I thought we had an understanding. Yeah, he was our boy. Yeah, I don't know what happened. He changed? What do you mean? Nah, the guy...
Again,
well, his...
No permanent friends and enemies, only permanent interests.
One of the first things he did in power was read people a death note. He didn't change.
He got too big for his britches.
Joining us now, CNN's Homeland Security analyst, Juliet Cayam. Juliet, thanks so much for joining us. What do you think? What are Homeland Security officials doing right now under this heightened alert? How concerned are they?
They are concerned. We are hearing that there's going to be more focus on the domestic intelligence side of potential Iranian sleeper cells. We don't know to what extent they are formed and ready to activate, but it is something worth watching. We've talked a lot about the denigration of Iran's capabilities to launch major attacks in the United States, what happened to Hezbollah in Syria. But nonetheless, it's that those capabilities have not been eliminated.
I mean, at this point, their only recourse now would be to hit civilian centers. They won't hit military targets for the simple reason that their government's gonna disappear if they do. So yeah, I guess their only recourse would be to basically hit civilians, not the military. But then again, it's a lose-lose situation. There's no way you can win. The best thing to do if you're part of the sleeper cell is to turn yourself in and rat out your friends. Get that new citizenship, baby.
Focus on the potential homeland security threat, different than a threat against U.S. interests abroad, and that will include internal investigations as well as, of course, a focus on border crossings.
President Trump's former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, is warning.
And this would have never been a problem if they didn't let a bunch of people come into the border randomly without vetting them. Like, you see kind of how these problems compound? It's like these people create an apparatus where it's almost impossible to solve problems that they create, and it's done by design.
That the attack could have a...
What? They needed cheap labor.
Sleeper cell myth is fear mongering.
What are called sleeper cells. Is that the biggest concern for potential?
You have to keep in mind, anytime the media says anything like this, like, it's always important to remember that the media, it's in the media's best interest to make you believe that you're in danger and everything could be against you, or, like, you know, you could die at any minute. And the reason why is because, what do you call it? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Something distracted me.
Yeah, I remember Fox is popular for that. Like, you know, is your pillow trying to kill you? Is your soap dangerous? Up next. I forgot what was the point of that again.
The reason why is because that gets you to tune in and watch the media again.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, that's the whole reason. Sensationalism?
Retaliation from Iran.
It keeps people locked into the news.
I think it's the biggest homeland security concern, but I don't think it's the most likely scenario. From Iran's perspective, going after U.S. interests abroad is going to be easier. We have lots of troops there. We have lots of U.S. interest abroad, including in the Straits of Hormuz. So it's going to be easier for them to launch attacks. But We would be
fear
silly
indoctrination.
and naive
Yeah, of course.
to think
I mean,
that Iran had not thought through day 2 planning. They knew that this was coming either from Israel or us. And so those sleeper cells...
I think that a lot of people are really overestimating Iran. I think that they are.
I mean, isn't that the point, that you have to overestimate your enemy? I mean, that's the reason why everyone was so surprised about the Russia's capability during the invasion of Ukraine. They're literally being held back by 90s and 80s technology right now. And the reason why the US is so advanced is that the entire military structure or military intelligence structure literally bought into the propaganda that the USSR was producing this, Saddam was producing this. So what they had to do was to simply deprive the population of healthcare and improve their military to the point that no one can compare, that no one can measure up to what they can bring to the table in terms of firepower, in terms of military technology. I mean, what? They have the biggest air force, and they have the second biggest air force, which is the US Navy.
I mean, I could be wrong, but like, so far, a lot of the stuff that they've done, it really just hasn't seen.
I mean, just for shits and giggles, the best thing to do right now to establish dominance would be to put up a Burger King or McDonald's right on top of this crater or this mountain. Everyone would shut up.
Seem that impressive.
Just for the hell of it.
May have been followed for some time. They may have gone dark. That is the kind of thing that a very aggressive FBI is going to have to look after now. And a Homeland Security Department, which has been really focused on ICE enforcement, is going to have to shift gears and focus on both cyber potential attacks or, of course, physical attacks here. Whether they have the capacity or the manpower now, we don't know. But that if they're looking to the concerns here in the Homeland, that's what they're going to need to do at the Department of Homeland Security.
Juliet Cayam, as always, thank you very much for joining us.
I think you might have some level of retaliation. It's not out of the question. I think it's definitely possible. I mean, like starting a conflict with any country. And then you're also going to have, keep in mind, you're going to have people that are just crazy that are going to go out on a limb and start trouble in general. Right? Yep. I mean, that's obviously what's going to happen. So I wouldn't really put a lot of stock or value in that. I think that people get very scared very easily, but in a general sense, I don't think it's really something that you would worry about or you need to worry about. Do you think Americans are safer today or Friday? I'm genuinely curious. I think we're probably in more danger now than we were on Friday. I think so. I'm sure that your point is...
I mean... There's always the possibility of an extremist or an Iranian nationalist that, you bombed my country. I'm going to go after your civilians now.
That, that's an indication that it was the wrong decision. But obviously that's short-sighted thinking. So Americans might be more in danger today or tomorrow or in the next 6 months. But you have to look beyond that. You have to look at are we safer in the long run? Are we safer in a global sense? Are we able to, achieve goals that we have without...
I mean, in the immortal words of Danny Archer, when was the last time the world wasn't falling apart, right?
Worrying about this problem. So the entire idea that like the only way that you should look at this is the day-by-day basis, that's how you lose the long game. There's a lot of people that are very short-sighted, and it causes them to end up losing over time. And yes, I do think that every step that Iran gets farther away from nuclear program is ultimately a step that makes everybody in the world safer, including Iranians.
Thank you for watching, guys. So if you want me to check out other stories here on YouTube, please let me know in the comments. We upload on the weekends, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, check out our Twitch channel where you can watch me do this live. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do the whole notification button thing to help me out with the algo, and class dismissed.